Right now, Neil's brain is flooded with a profound, beautiful sense of relief. He didn't finish his work today. In fact, he didn't even start it. But as he closes his eyes, he isn't feeling guilty. He feels incredibly peaceful because he just made a silent pact with himself. I will wake up at 5 a.m. and crush this. Tomorrow will be different. Neil is lying to himself, and deep down he knows it. He has just fallen victim to the tomorrow lie, a sophisticated psychological glitch where your brain treats your future self like an entirely different human being. Today, we decode the dark neuroscience of temporal discounting and how to stop letting your brain sacrifice your future for a temporary moment of comfort. Part 1. The Stranger in the Mirror. Neil is a 31-year-old financial analyst with a brilliant mind and a massive ambition. He wants to write a book on behavioral economics. He has the research, the outline, and the talent. Yet, for the last 8 months, his manuscript has remained at exactly 0 words. Every single evening follows the exact same psychological script. Neil comes home from his corporate job, feeling mentally drained. He looks at his laptop. He feels a sharp prick of anxiety. Then his brain deploys its ultimate survival mechanism. It doesn't say, "Let's quit this project forever." That would cause an agonizing ego crisis. Instead, it whispers a beautifully comforting alternative. "You're too tired right now, Neil. You won't do your best work. Let's rest tonight. And tomorrow, when we have unlimited energy, we will write 3 chapters. Instantly, Neil's anxiety vanishes. He feels a hit of relief. But neurologically, Neil has just committed an act of psychological division. He is experiencing a phenomenon known as temporal self-discontinuity. Neuroscientists at Princeton University put people into fMRI machines and scanned their brains while they thought about their present self, a complete stranger, and their future self, 10 years from now. The results were startling. When subjects thought about their present self, a specific neural network, the medial prefrontal cortex, lit up intensely. But when they thought about their future self, that area went completely dark. Instead, their brain activity looked identical to how it looked when they thought about a complete stranger. When Neil tells himself, "Tomorrow Neil will write the book," his brain isn't planning a schedule. It is literally passing a painful, high-friction burden down the line to a psychological stranger. He is borrowing peace of mind today by bankrupting a person he hasn't met yet. Part 2. The Present Bias and Effective Forecasting. The sun rises on Saturday morning. It is now the tomorrow that Neil promised himself. But a glitch occurs. When Neil opens his eyes, he doesn't feel like a heroic, hyper-disciplined author. He feels exactly like the same tired, anxious Neil who went to bed the night before. The unlimited reservoir of willpower he imagined simply doesn't exist. This is the brutal reality of present bias and the effective forecasting error. Human beings are notoriously terrible at predicting how they will feel in the future. When Neil is warm and safe in his bed on Friday night, his brain predicts his future emotional state from a position of total comfort. It assumes that Saturday Neil will operate with 0 friction. But when Saturday arrives, the task still requires real cognitive labor. The blank page is still intimidating. Because our brains value immediate rewards, the comfort of scrolling on a phone, vastly higher than future rewards, the pride of finishing a book, Neil experiences an immediate motivational collapse. To escape the fresh wave of guilt, his brain simply runs the script again. "Today was just a weird day. I'll definitely do it tomorrow." The loop resets. Tomorrow becomes a mythical, rolling horizon, a destination that is always 24 hours away, allowing Neil to feel like he is making progress, while his dream quietly rots in the corner. Before we watch Neil use a ruthless psychological protocol to bridge this gap and force his brain into real-world execution, let's make sure your own mind is safe from the tomorrow illusion. If you are tired of letting your brain make promises your present self can't keep, hit that subscribe button. We decode the deep, invisible loops of behavioral psychology every single week, so you can finally own your reality. Now, let's see the moment Neil fought back. Part 3. The Hyperbolic Discounting Trap. By month 6, Neil's procrastination turned into a deep, lingering sense of self-betrayal. He was caught in the jaws of hyperbolic discounting. This is an evolutionary economic bias. Our brains value the immediacy of a reward far more than its magnitude. An hour of mindless television right now has an immediate, concrete value of 10 out of 10 to Neil's primitive dopamine pathways. Finishing a book 12 months from now has an abstract value that feels like a 2 out of 10 right now. Neil realized that he couldn't out-argue his evolutionary wiring. He couldn't just try harder. He needed to hack the system. He decided to run a radical behavioral experiment called the Empathy Bridge Protocol. First, Neil downloaded an age progression app and printed a photo of what he would look like at age 65. He pasted that photo directly above his desk. Every time his brain whispered, "Let's just do it tomorrow," Neil was forced to look at the older version of himself. He stopped viewing his future self as a mythical superhero who loved hard work. He looked at that photo and realized, if I don't write one page right now, I am actively stealing the retirement, the peace, and the self-respect of that old man sitting right there. He forced a psychological collision between his present choice and his future consequence. Part 4. Loading the cost next. Neil applied a behavioral economics trick called a commitment contract. He knew his brain loved the tomorrow lie because delaying the work carried an immediate reward, rest, with zero immediate cost. He called his closest friend, an intensely blunt person named Sam. Neil handed him $500 in cash and said, "Here's the deal, Sam. Every evening at 9 p.m. I have to text you a screenshot of 200 newly written words of my book. If I fail to send that screenshot for any reason, including being tired, you are legally required to donate $50 of my money to a political party that I absolutely despise." Neil had successfully inverted the hyperbolic discounting loop. By adding an immediate, agonizing cost to his procrastination, his brain's threat detection center shifted completely. When 9 p.m. arrived and his brain tried to whisper, "Let's just do it tomorrow," the amygdala short-circuited. The thought of losing $50 and funding an organization he hated was far more painful than the friction of opening the laptop. The tomorrow lie no longer felt safe. It felt expensive. Neil sat down, opened the file, and typed his 200 words. He did it the next night, and the night after that. Within 4 months, the momentum took over, the friction evaporated, and Neil completed his first full draft. Neil's book was published a year later. He didn't finish it because he magically found an endless supply of motivation, or because he woke up at 5 a.m. every day filled with joy. He finished it because he stopped believing his own mind's grandest illusion. The phrase, "I'll do it tomorrow," is not an innocent statement of scheduling. It is a psychological drug. It allows you to feel the unearned pride of a future accomplishment while remaining perfectly comfortable in your current stagnation. Stop treating your future self like a slave designed to clean up the messes of your present self. The stranger in the mirror tomorrow isn't going to save you. Your future is not a destination. It is a direct consequence of what you choose to execute in the next 60 seconds. Close the calendar, step out of the illusion, and do the work right now. What is the one major goal you've been pushing onto the shoulders of your tomorrow self? Are you ready to stop lying to the person you are going to become? Tell me your immediate commitment contract in the comments below. Let's hold each other accountable. Give this video a like if you're ready to reclaim today, and I'll see you in the next one.